under new coach Jay Gruden. And Dan Hellie, it all starts with the man, the acronym, the logo, the symbol, RG3, right?
That's right. RG3 is the guy who's looking to resurrect his career. I know it's been an early one, but he had a great first year, a bad second year, and he's hoping the third year is going to be much better. Day one of training camp this morning with RG3, new head coach Jay Gruden, a new wide receiver, and Deshaun Jackson. Robert Griffin III has been saying he feels very much like his old self. Let's go to Richmond, Virginia, and our Jeff Darlington, who has been with the Redskins. Jeff, you know, because you've been following this team for quite some time, that RG3 feels like he has been the strongest he has ever been. How did that translate on the field in day one of training camp?
Well, not exactly the way that they had hoped, Dan, and that could be because of the rain that you see behind me. Really started early this morning. It delayed practice by about 30 minutes. The connection between RG3 and Deshaun Jackson on the first day wasn't quite there. There were probably about 3 mistimed routes that they couldn't connect on. But Griffin saying afterwards, not a big deal. You guys only saw one practice. Throughout the entirety of this offseason, we have been on the same page. Our chemistry is fine. Now, Jay Gruden did chalk it up to the fact that the weather was bad. They were having some difficulty with the wet footballs. But excuses aside, they do feel like the chemistry is there. They feel like they'll be able to get on the same page when they're back out here in the morning, Dan.
Gruden is one who generally speaks his mind, Jeff, and he says that it's very important for Robert Griffin III not just to be physically at the peak of his game, but mentally at the top of his game as well. He's been working on him with that, as well as with other coaches. How has RG3's demeanor been affected by the coaching staff and Jay Gruden?
Well, I mean, you can see it. You can see that he feels a little bit looser. D'Angelo Hall even saying that he seems less stressed. And Hall even saying that it could be the fact that Griffin doesn't have to worry about whether the coach likes him or not. That's a direct quote from D'Angelo Hall, obviously referring back to the divisiveness between RG3 and Mike Shanahan throughout last year. You come out here to the first day of practice, RG3 finds his coach, Jay Gruden, and gives him a big bear hug, whether that was for the cameras or whether that was genuine. It seems to at least be pretty altruistic. It seems to be a situation where RG3 is just plain happy. He likes his head coach. And again, we talked about some of the struggles in the first day of camp, but by all means, they're getting off on the right foot. There seems to be a very happy relationship between RG3 and his new boss, and Jay Gruden.
All right, Jeff Darlington in Washington with the Redskins and Robert Griffin III. Coach Gruden and RG3, by the way, next-door neighbors, so they're getting along just great at work and away from work. One thing that Jay Gruden said was that there are going to be fewer designed running plays this year for Robert Griffin III. They want him to stay in the pocket and be a pocket passer and run when necessary. My question to you, Warren Sapp and Willie McGinnis, can Robert Griffin III be a successful quarterback in the National Football League when he's not using his legs? Because as we know, as a rookie, that is something that made him one of the most dangerous players in the league.
Willie, I don't know what Dan is thinking, but at any point a quarterback with that kind of athletic ability is standing in the pocket, his legs aren't amputated, he could definitely take off for you. So first thing first, as your defensive ends, you get ready to go after a pocket passer that can run. Make sure the front and the back door are closed to where there's no way for him to walk right out of the door and get running and get on the edge of our defense. That is always something you must hold accountable for a quarterback like RG3 with the ability to run. But the key to this thing is Alfred Morris in the backfield. Let's get that run game going. Go play action pass. You got Deshaun out wide. You got Pierre Garçon, Santana Moss, Robinson from Arizona. Everything going well if they can get the running game going, not the quarterback running, Willie.
RG3 is feeling like his old self. Well, his old self had 815 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. And when you incorporate that, like you said, Warren, with Alfred Morris, that's a deadly combination. You don't take that out of his arsenal. Now, I tell everybody, the read option is not an offense. It's a package within an offense. I don't think you take that out because as a defender, we have to game plan for that. Regardless if he's going to run it or not, we got to go extra periods in practice on defense. We got to prepare for that. We got to put somebody in the box. We got to assign the man to RG3. So I don't think Jay Gruden's going to take it out. out of the whole system, I think he's going to sprinkle it in, but on a consistent basis, you really don't need to do that. Now, in my opinion, RG3 is one of the best passers in the league. When healthy, when he has his weapons out there, everybody's on the field. And now you got Deshaun Jackson, who's going to open up that offense. Like you mentioned, Roberts, Garcon, that's something to reckon with. They may have one of the best receiving corps, not only in the NFC, but in the league.
In the league, around the league. Dan, we're going to kick it back to you. Yes, RG3 is dangerous no matter what they call.
You are right, and you're both right. It would